wrestling time on the bed, jiu-jitsu on the way. When the wind blow hard on the door, he will roll up his cuff. When he make a move, or you see man back on the ground. Then they party with green seal, moonshine, garnet. They're all, let me play the thing.
Come on. I want y'all to do something for me. Put your hands in the air, snap your fingers. Come on, let's go higher level. We going deep in the agua. Abby, let's go, we said. Put your hands in the air, snap your fingers. Hey, huh, huh, huh. Yeah, we say, put your hands in the air. Say this, whether you young or older. To rock your shoulder. We put you in the mood. And we gonna do this higher level groove, y'all. Say, whether you young or older. Just do like JD told ya. While we put you in a trance. We do this brand new. Come on, and show 'em how it's done. Say.
Tonight, a groundbreaking for a new hospital here in the capital. We've got the details coming up. Also, the PLP and F&M go head-to-head tonight for rallies on the Family Islands. We are live. And later, public officers reportedly receiving disciplinary action for campaigning. We've got the latest on this. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janae Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, there's now movement on the ground for the country's new multi-million-dollar hospital, with work officially getting underway on the long-awaited project. Government officials say the development marking a major chapter for the country's healthcare system, which has faced years of strain and growing demand. Our Laurentia Smith has the details tonight.
There is some relief on the horizon for the country's healthcare system, as ground has officially been broken for the long-awaited new national hospital. The project, valued at $285 million, is backed by $195 million loan from the Chinese Export-Import Bank, along with government funding. The Bahamas hospital is expected to greatly expand access to modern health care services across the country. Health Minister Dr. Michael Dovell told attendees at the ceremony on Friday that the reality is the project is long overdue.
Need for patients to seek care abroad, and it would allow our healthcare professionals to operate in an environment that supports the level of care that they are trained to deliver. This 200-bed hospital will provide additional emergency and intensive care services, provide support to the Princess Margaret Hospital, while modernizing diagnostic and laboratory service for all of our public health care facilities.
Dr. Dovell says the facility will also host the country's first reference morgue, marking another major step forward in the national healthcare infrastructure. Also at hand for the ceremony was the country's leader, Prime Minister Philip Davis, who says that the new hospital represents the start of a new chapter in the country's healthcare journey.
Health system designed for another age. Princess Margaret Hospital was built in 1952, and it opened in 1953. It served a smaller population, a different disease burden, and a very different era of medicine. 74 years later, the demands placed on that institution are far greater than what it was originally.
The Chinese ambassador to the Bahamas stressed that the project represents planning in cooperation and discussions between two countries. She says the groundbreaking marks a major step forward in strengthening healthcare in the country.
Bahamas. It is a new pillar for the health and well-being of the Bahamian people, and it is a new cornerstone in China-Bahamas cooperation. The Nassau New Hospital is designed to be a people-centered project. It reflects Bahamian national priorities, meets real local needs.
The project is expected to take about 36 months to complete. The facility will be situated on 50 acres of land alongside New Providence Highway. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Laurencia. Well, with some 25 days to the polls, the Progressive Liberal Party, they're ramping up their campaign tonight with a rally in Exuma. Our Rebecca Bain is live on the island. She brings us the latest details. Rebecca?
Good evening, Janelle, all the way from Georgetown, Exuma, and standing in front of the PLP's headquarters. And I can tell you out here this evening, party supporters have already made their way down for the Progressive Liberal Party's Rally for Progress. They came in this evening with a motorcade with music playing, chanting Chester Cooper. So it's a vibrant atmosphere here out this evening. Tonight we are expecting to hear from the incumbent Chester Cooper, who is vying for the Exuma and Ragged Islands constituency once again. And amongst him, we are expecting to also hear from the party's leader, Philip Braves Davis, who is vying for the Cat Island constituency. PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell for Foxhill, Glennis Hannah Martin for the Ingliston constituency, Renika Knowles for Long Island, Minister Clay Sweeting for Central and South Eleuthera, Zane Lightburn for Yamacraw, and we are also looking to hear from Robin Lyons. Now, we do know the Progressive Liberal Party is operating under the campaign of Choose Progress as they are looking to obtain the Bahamian government for a second time. And some of those points are tackling immigration issues, enhancing healthcare and education. So we may hear a bit of that this evening. And we are looking forward for, party supporters told me they are looking for an exciting night here tonight. It hasn't kicked off as yet, but we are expecting in the next 30 minutes to see some more action on the ground tonight. But we will bring you some more further updates later on in the newscast and by our digital platforms. For now, I'm Rebecca Bain. Send it back to you at the desk, Janelle.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. On the ground in Exuma tonight, while the political machinery continues over in Abaco, where the Free National Movement, they're putting their boots on the ground, they say. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. is stationed there. We go live with Linton in Abaco. Linton?
Good evening, Janelle. That's right. Coming to you live from the constituency of North Abaco. Of course, the campaign continues for the opposition Free National Movement. Well, tonight they are having a rally in the backyard here in the constituency of North Abaco once again. Expected to take the stage tonight is Free National Movement candidate for North Abaco, Therese Boodle, Central and South Abaco candidate Jeremy Sweeting, Denley Penmaki for Southern Shores, Rick Fox candidate for Garden Hills, of course, our party leader Michael Pintard. Now, the rally hasn't begun as yet. They were slated to begin around 7:30, but the stage is still being set. Of course, we know that we will hear from all those speakers tonight when Eyewitness News understands that they will address a number of national issues, and they will create their pledge for the electorate of Abaco as to why they feel as though the Free National Movement should represent the constituency, hoping to grab the vote of the electorate down here in Abaco. Now, of course, this comes off the heel of a successful nomination day yesterday. We know that Therese Boodle successfully nominated here in Abaco, and so did Jeremy Sweeting for Central and South. And once again, we hope to hear from both of those candidates tonight as to what they plan to do for Abaco here. But, of course, as I said, the rally hasn't begun as yet, but the music has started. Persons are beginning to flock in here tonight, and we also understand that former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram is also here, expected to take the seat and listen to what the speakers have to say tonight on behalf of the Free National Movement. But of course, we are standing by live here tonight. Not much action just yet. We hope that you can come back to us later on. We're hoping that some speakers will get started and we'll be able to bring you more information. But reporting live out of North Abaco, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr. sending it back to you at the desk, Janelle.
Thanks so much, our Linton Ritchie Jr. live tonight. And of course, you can catch up on all of the latest updates. It's your election headquarters here at Eyewitness News. Well, in other news, a government agency still embroiled in controversy tonight as questions loom on how funds allocated are being spent and why budget limits are reportedly being breached. Our Jose Etienne has the details.
Executive Chairman of the Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority, Michael Barnaby, dodging pressing questions from the Tribune about the agency's spending that has prompted tough questions about oversight.
No further questions.
It was a failed attempt to get answers from the government official who has not been upfront on reasons why the authority continues to blow past its budget allocations in recent years. Barnaby was more focused on filing his nomination yesterday while swarmed by his supporters.
It's such a wonderful day being here today nominating. We're focusing on positivity. We're going for 2 straight. This is a one-on-one exercise on how you do politics. With all the people around me, we're excited. And we're going to go back to back. Thank you.
But the issue remains. A Nassau Guardian report outlined spending of $24.6 million against a $15.2 million budget in the 2021-2022 fiscal year, and more than $33 million against a $24 million budget in 2023 to 2024. Budget documents up to December 2025 show total allocations exceeding $141 million. And amid concerns about overspending, the authority has faced criticisms for several parks out of the 200 plus that it manages in New Providence that remain in a dilapidated state. Meanwhile, the controversy surrounding the Barnaby-led authority rings in tandem with allegations levied against former executive chairman Shannon Cartwright. An audit reportedly flagged overspending without clear need, unfiled VAT returns, and inconsistencies in contract signatures. However, Cartwright was cleared of any potential wrongdoing. With an election looming and with Barnaby seemingly refusing to come clean on the issue with the press, questions continue to linger on whether accountability and transparency are the order of the day at the authority. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, a public officer within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs facing backlash tonight over his engagement in campaigning activities. The employee in question, Ivan Thompson, posted the letter sent to him and signed by his permanent secretary, Melvin Seymour. Now, where the matter becomes an issue is that Seymour, the permanent secretary, according to Thompson, had also participated in campaigning activities for nomination day. He posted a photo of the same along with a letter issued to him on Facebook. Thompson says that he's currently awaiting his date in court at the end of the month for a case against government attempts to reach Seymour for comment and other government officials on the issue unsuccessful up until news time. Well, a power struggle reportedly brewing in the education sector, with the Bahamas Union of Teachers being rocked by questions over a reported $100,000 loan, while a rival union has now signed a new industrial agreement delivering pay raises for teachers. Devontae Hanna is on the story tonight.
A leadership dispute is erupting in the Bahamas Union of Teachers over a reported unconstitutional $100,000 loan for furniture and kitchen appliances at Mabel Walker Hall, prompting an emergency general meeting to decide the loan's fate. In an April 15th memo, Secretary General Cedrica Roll questioned how the loan applied for by longtime President Belinda Wilson was approved, who signed for it, and why key officers, including the treasurer and trustees, were allegedly bypassed. She also argued the union should first settle outstanding honoraria owed to members. Attempts to reach Wilson on the matter were unsuccessful up to news time. But it comes as teachers across the country are set to receive a pay increase following a new industrial agreement inked by the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union on Thursday. It's a deal presented to the BUT but strongly rejected.
Prime Minister Davis, we've given 48 hours for your side to communicate to us.
The BECO deal, according to Union President Sandra Major, will last for 5 years, delivering salary increases and extended benefits for teachers, guidance counselors, and teachers' aides.
This year when I did it is 16.5% because it raises the bar from $44,800 a year to now $52,200 a year.
The deal includes several increases for allowances, including classroom allowances, guide and counselor incentives, and new annual allowances for school systems administrators.
This agreement represents a comprehensive and forward-looking investment in educators. It balances union priorities with national fiscal responsibility while addressing long-standing concerns across multiple areas.
But Wilson called the signing a stunt, as she says there could only be one union of teachers.
When Sister Mabel Walker established the great Bahamas Union of Teachers in 1947, she did not deliver twins. She had one single live birth, the Bahamas Union of Teachers.
The government and the BUT are seemingly at a standstill over negotiations now entering its 8th month. But Major, on the other hand, says Bakawu will continue fighting for education professionals.
This team will fight to the end, but we will fight and we will be decent.
The industrial agreement is set to expire in 2030. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Well, with nearly 90% of members of the Bahamas Union of Teachers rejecting the government's salary proposal and calling its return an insult, the union has issued a 48-hour ultimatum after 7 months of stalled talks. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question today: do you support the teachers' ultimatum to the government? 89% of participants voting yes, they deserve better pay and fair negotiations. 3% voting no, the government needs more time to respond. 8% voted both sides should return to talks without ultimatums, and 0% voted that they were unsure. Be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls as your voice matters. The immigration issue making its way back into the spotlight. Our Laurencia Smith hitting the streets this week to find out how the country views immigration and what people believe needs to be done. Here's her report.
As voters prepare to mark their X, political parties are rolling out their plans to address what many are calling an immigration crisis.
Obviously, there are a lot of complaints. We can feel it, we can see it in the workforce.
The foreigners have more rights than the Bahamians in our own country.
All you can hear is different languages, and the government, they say in one thing, but what people are seeing is a different story.
While some members of the public insist the country is in a state of crisis, another resident disagrees and explains why.
We have to have immigrants to push this country forward because, to me, the average Bahamian, indigenous Bahamian, they don't want to do certain things. They look down on certain jobs and they don't want to do it.
Meanwhile, back in July of 2025, Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe boasted that government had repatriated more than 13,000 migrants in less than 4 years, calling it the highest number in modern history. However, some members of the public say they're not swayed by those figures, arguing both governments have been out of touch when it comes to the real issue on the ground.
Almost done the same thing. Nobody has really approached the problem and tried to deal with it.
Ongoing thing, it's been something that I know back in the day, Loftus Roker, he sought to address. Someone has to get serious about addressing the immigration issue.
In hindsight, ain't nothing happening. Not to me. They're saying that. So every government come and we can do this, we can do that, we can do that. I always tell people a promise is a comfort to a fool.
Former State Minister for Immigration Granville McCartney acknowledged that yes, the country is in an immigration crisis, and he says whomever is the government of the day must take a serious stance. If not, the country will be faced with serious consequences in the long term.
Miles Monroe said it best several years ago, and he basically alluded that if we allow this situation to continue, we lose who we are as a country, we lose our identity, we lose being Bahamian.
Meanwhile, the governing Progressive Liberal Party continues to face growing pressures and scrutiny surrounding the issue. The opposition Free National Movement, however, is taking a hard line, pledging to challenge the law so that no person who enters the Bahamas illegally would be eligible for a Bahamian citizenship. And also the COI promising to tightening immigration policies and strengthening border control. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, former Prime Minister and former Minister of Health, Dr. Hubert Minnis, in his address to Killarney constituents at his campaign launch as an independent candidate, called for the creation for a committee to oversee matters in the healthcare sector. Many aspects of the Ministry of Health have been long under scrutiny, from matters related to hospital operations to treatment of patients by employees and treatment of employees by the government. Dr. Minnis suggesting that the creation of this committee could resolve a lot of those issues that come about.
A committee that comprises the politicians, opposition and government, representative of independent. That committee must comprise of members of the health sector. It must comprise of members of the public. and patience. Once that is done, it means that nobody can play politics because that is the decision that has been made by all, by the Bahamians at large, all political party, and you're plotting the way forward.
Well, Dr. Minnis admitting that the country's healthcare sector is in a dire state, but he insists that it did not happen overnight and the blame cannot be solely blamed on one administration.
On the Penland, it's deteriorated. On the Ingram, it's deteriorated. On the Christie, it's deteriorated. On the May, it's deteriorated. And under Davis, it's deteriorated. We cannot play politics with health. Too many Bahamians are dying unnecessarily. Nobody want to say it, but the facts are the facts. And that's the advantage of an independent candidate. He will tell you the facts.
Meantime, a 16-year-old boy and a 21-year-old man, they're in hospital tonight fighting for their life as they were reportedly shot last night in separate incidents. The first shooting taking place through Dumping Ground Corner after 9 p.m. That's when police say the victim was among a group of men when occupants of a motorcycle approached them and opened fire, striking that juvenile boy. He's said to be in hospital undergoing surgery. In the second incident, which happened before 11 p.m., police say gunmen on board a motorcycle also struck a victim. About the body, he's said to be in critical condition. It's unclear whether both incidents are connected. However, investigations into these incidents are ongoing tonight. Well, we've added another access point to make sure you're up to date with the latest news. Follow the Eyewitness News WhatsApp channel, scan that QR code on your screen, or visit our social media pages for a direct link. While you're there, don't forget to follow Eyewitness News on Instagram and Facebook. If you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Aya News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas @gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, more from the election campaign as the trail heats up. We've got that stories and more coming up. And later, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, he's outlining plans for Killarney as an independent candidate. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
John, I just found out that KFC has an irresistible promo.
Crunch into the juicy flavor of the new KFC Wrap Star, a classic made modern that's crunchy, melty, and grilled to perfection for all the journeys of your day. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
A storied party falling apart. F&M's fleeing. Chaos, confusion, even court battles. What's happening with the F&M is sad. Divided, directionless, dysfunctional. The ones left behind won't admit it, but it's chaos inside. They say a fish rots from the head down. If Michael Pintard can't keep his own party together, how can he run an entire country?
Everyone hates a dead car battery. Why not get a battery that lasts and has a 12-month warranty and is only $64.50? Intercontinental batteries are made with German technology, compatible with Japanese, US, and European vehicles, and adapts to warm climates. All right, good to go. These batteries are high quality, affordable, innovative, and only available at AID. Visit us online or WhatsApp us at 427-0026. AID, all you really need and more.
Captain Cash and Co. viral videos have shown you using what is said to be super speed to deliver cash to citizens around the world. Can you explain this?
Those people are simply taking advantage of Cash and Go's Cash Now money lending service, our easy-to-use money lending portal.
How does it work?
Well, you simply enter your information along with a recent payslip, a picture of your ID, and then select your loan amount and the repayment term. We review it as soon as possible. And then once approved, we could have your cash delivered to your mobile wallet, or we could send it directly to a bank of your choosing. Any more questions?
No. Thanks, Cash and Go, man.
It's Captain Cash and Go.
A party of promises. Over the past 5 years, what has the PLP really done? The failed sale of the Grand Lucayan Hotel in Grand Bahama left thousands of nurses unpaid and medical facilities crumbling, drowned Bahamians in sky-high power bills, and left no path to real energy reform. Hundreds of unpaid government vendors waiting to be paid, while no bid contracts are delivered on a silver platter. And the weakest border in the region, while passports are given out like candy. Is the PLP a party of progress or promises, paid for by the Free National Movement?
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. Esso, $6.58. That's the cheapest tonight. Rubis and Shell, both at $6.64. It's your local prices at the pump. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, as the campaign trail heats up, the tension between political parties continues to rise. The latest remarks made by Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who took political jabs at the opposition Free National Movement while at a progressive Liberal Party recently. Cooper accusing the FNM of not having a plan to run the country, while also claiming that from his view, they have no real leadership.
The other side is just running another stage play. You know, Michael Pintard, he used to be an actor. And he literally wrote a book called Politics. Well, East New Providence. The FNM isn't much of a political party anymore, you know. It is just the latest production
savings banks are a life.
The bank through the post office system.
That's a risk Bahamians can't afford. That's why the Prime Minister is making post office savings banks stronger to protect Bahamian families and small businesses who rely on them.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Bahamian ownership in fly fishing is very important. Not only does it create opportunities for Bahamians, this is our industry, so we're proud of what we do. Opportunity is important. It's the story of my life, because with the opportunities, you can chart your own course. Prime Minister Davis and his team see the opportunities by providing these grants and what it can do for our country. It's just wonderful, and I'm glad to see these ventures working so that other people can get involved. This is real. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's help ourselves.
There are a lot of new opportunities in our country. We are building an economy that includes everyone.
And you chose to come to BTVI.
The best place to learn.
Expanding and updating BTVI.
It prepared me for the future to be an entrepreneur.
And this is what this is all about. We are creating more opportunities for more Bahamians, because opportunity is the key to success.
Are you better off today? Brave Davis and his cronies are. Extravagant taxpayer-funded trips, a luxury car for Philip, and hundreds of millions in no-bid contracts for their allies. But for us, gas and groceries through the roof, VAT on bread basket items, healthcare broken and unaffordable, and illegal immigrants flooding our communities. While Brave Davis and his cronies keep getting ahead, we pay the price. Under the F&M, that changes, because their job is to work for you.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
Foreign commercial banks have been closing across our islands. For thousands of Bahamians, our country's post office savings banks are a lifeline, providing safe and secure banking. But Michael Pindart says,
we will abolish the bank through the post office system.
That's a risk Bahamians can't afford. That's why the Prime Minister is making post office savings banks stronger to protect Bahamian families and small businesses who rely on them.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Bahamian ownership in fly fishing is very important. Not only does it create opportunities for Bahamians, this is our industry, so we're proud of what we do. Opportunity is important. It's the story of my life, because with the opportunities, you can chart your own course. Prime Minister Davis and his team see the opportunities by providing these grants and what it can do for our country. It's just wonderful, and I'm glad to see these ventures working so that other people can get involved. This is real. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's help ourselves.
There are a lot of new opportunities in our country. We are building an economy that includes everyone.
And you chose to come to BTVI.
The best place to learn.
Expanding and updating BTVI.
It prepared me for the future to be an entrepreneur.
And this is what this is all about. We are creating more opportunities for more Bahamians, because opportunity is the key to success.
Are you better off today? Brave Davis and his cronies are. Extravagant taxpayer-funded trips, a luxury car for Philip, and hundreds of millions in no-bid contracts for their allies. But for us, gas and groceries through the roof, VAT on bread basket items, healthcare broken and unaffordable, and illegal immigrants flooding our communities. While Brave Davis and his cronies keep getting ahead, we pay the price. Under the F&M, that changes, because their job is to work for you.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
Foreign commercial banks have been closing across our islands. For thousands of Bahamians, our country's post office savings banks are a lifeline, providing safe and secure banking. But Michael Pindart says,
we will abolish the bank through the post office system.
That's a risk Bahamians can't afford. That's why the Prime Minister is making post office savings banks stronger to protect Bahamian families and small businesses who rely on them.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. We thank you for staying with us. We do apologize for those technical difficulties we experienced earlier, but to catch up on all the stories, be sure to visit all of our social media pages, including Facebook. All of those stories will be posted there. Well, we continue to check in with our teams on the Family Islands today. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. standing by live in Abaco, the Free National Movement, taking its message to the masses in North Abaco. Linton?
Listen, let me tell you. You got to go in the bush, over the hill, down by the road. That's where it's at.
Good evening, Janea. That's right. Coming back to you here from the constituency of North Abaco, where the Free National Movement rally is currently underway. Now, of course, the seats are beginning to fill. Free National Movement supporters are making their way here to the Hubert Ingram Park. But joining me live here is the candidate for Central and South Abaco, Mr. Jeremy Sweeting. Mr. Sweeting, yesterday was nomination day. Before we start and we get into what's going on tonight, talk to me about how nomination day went for you.
Nomination day was electric. You know, nomination day is an important day in the political calendar, but more than the excitement and the motorcades and the signs that we have up, right after nomination day is over, that is when the real work begins. When the signs come down, when the motorcades ended, after May 12th, that's when the real work begins.
And how has the campaign been going for you since you've been ratified here in Central and South Abaco?
The campaign's been going great. We're getting a great response everywhere we go. People's excited because they see no progress. They see no progress under this current administration, and they want change. And they know that this Free National Movement Party will bring about the change that we need.
Final question from me. What are some of your key focuses on your campaign trail? If you were to get the seat, what should persons expect?
Well, we will win this seat, but there's many focuses that we are, many key things that we are focusing on. And just to name a couple, Abaco really needs affordable housing. There's a lot of people out there that want to have the dream of owning a home, owning a piece of our Bahama land. And people don't see that as a reality today. We have to do that in Abaco. Affordable housing, healthcare. Our healthcare system is broken, and we need a better healthcare system in Abaco. We have a vibrant economy, and we need better healthcare, a better medevac plan, so that when minutes matter and you have to get out of Abaco into a major hospital, you know that is a big critical need right here in Abaco, and we're going to address that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sweden, for that. I appreciate it. Well, Janae, you heard just now from the Central and South Abaco candidate, Mr. Jeremy Sweden. Just now, the announcers just made it clear that the rally is about to begin. They're about to start with a prayer. They're bringing all of their supporters forward to the stage. And once again, as I said earlier, we are expecting to hear from North Abaco candidate Therese Poodle. Of course, just now, you heard from Central and South Abaco candidate Mr. Jeremy Sweden. He'll also speak tonight. There will be Garden Hills candidate Rick Fox, Denley Penn, who is running in Southern Shores, Brian Brown, who is running in Golden Isles, and of course, the party leader, Michael Pintard. Now, of course, Sinead will be standing by here in North Abaco all night, bringing digital updates, so our viewers can stay tuned to our digital platforms for all the latest as to what's to come from the Free National Movement rally here in North Abaco. I'm Linton Ritchie Jr., sending it back to you at the desk in Nassau.
Thanks so much, Linton. Live in Abaco tonight, we're going to take a quick break, make contact with our team down in Exuma, where the PLP is having a rally there. We'll be back right after this break.
Party of Promises. Over the past 5 years, what has the PLP really done? The failed sale of the Grand Lucayan Hotel in Grand Bahama left thousands of nurses unpaid and medical facilities crumbling, drowned Bahamians in sky-high power bills, and left no path to real energy reform. Hundreds of unpaid government vendors waiting to be paid, while no bid contracts are delivered on a silver platter, and the weakest border in the region, while passports are given out like candy. Is the PLP a party of progress or promises, paid for by the Free National Movement?
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
This is the National Youth Guard program designed to train young people to help the Bahama Islands in times of disaster.
I decided to join to better serve my country as well as to better myself.
We train the help in search and rescue,
electrical, plumbing, and carpentry,
and things that they can actually expand on in their careers.
Young people who join the Youth Guard program discover a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, and a sense of patriotism.
This program isn't about only the individuals, it is about the country.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Our election coverage continues tonight. The lead up to the general election, we have teams in Abaco and also in Exuma, where the Progressive Liberal Party has a rally underway. Our Rebecca Bain joins us live tonight by phone. Rebecca?
Good evening, Janaea. We are still here at the Progressive Liberal Party's headquarters in Exuma. And as I told you earlier, party supporters had started to make their way on the grounds. And right now, it's even more individuals. They are excited to see their incumbent for the Exuma and Ragged Island constituency, and the many other individuals that we said will be here tonight. But speaking of individuals that came on down here tonight, I have a resident from Nassau who came all the way down to Exuma, who was born and raised down here. And Miss Moxie, can you tell me a bit about the reason you came all the way down here for this rally this evening?
Well, I came here first of all because I want to support Chester Cooper. I'm so pleased with what he's done so far, and I feel that you can't start something and stop in the middle of it when you've done so much. So I'm excited to see that he gets another term, and whatever I can do to support that, I want that so that he can continue the work that he has started.
Okay, and you also mentioned that in Nassau you are a resident of the Killarney constituency, and Robin Lines is going to be speaking here tonight. How does it feel to bring support to the candidate this evening?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I'm supporting the party. You know, I love Chester Cooper. I don't know Ms. Lyons very well, but I am a party supporter. So whoever is on the PLP ticket in my area will get my support.
And lastly, like I mentioned and that we spoke about earlier, you said you were born and raised in Exuma. Can you tell me a bit about the changes you've seen since you were growing up, and now Chester Cooper is the member of parliament for this area? What have you seen change?
Well, I don't have time to tell you all of them, but let me tell you, I remember I was born in the forest. And I remember when it took hours to get from the forest to Georgetown because it was just a dirt road with potholes. Then we had an airstrip beyond Georgetown. Later on, we got an airport in Morristown. And look at what we have now. But in a short while, we're going to have an air terminal. This is all under the leadership of Chester Cooper. Let's talk about the roads. You know, so they've been fixed. I mean, the progress is just beyond. It's hard to even articulate so much that he's done in such a short period of time. We have the hotels, and back then people relied on farming. That was the only means of farming and fishing as your livelihood. Now there are options for the young people. You have the hotels and all of the various jobs that have become available. Progress after progress after progress under Chester Cooper.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Moxie. Well, Janelle, you have heard it. Residents of the constituency have spoken. They are excited for this evening, and they're looking to see continued progress. And as we continue to look forward to the election date in May, we're going to see how this constituency turns out. But as I said earlier, we'll bring you more updates of this rally this evening through our digital coverage. I'm Rebecca Bain. I'm sending it back to you at the desk, Janelle.
Thanks so much, Rebecca Bain, live tonight from Exuma. We do apologize for those technical difficulties tonight. Of course, she's doing a fabulous job out there, having to pivot, joining us by phone. Well, that wraps up news this Friday, but coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, we go back live to those rallies taking place on some family islands, Abaco and Exuma. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Noel saying good night, be safe, have a great weekend, everyone.
Foreign commercial banks have been closing across our islands. For thousands of Bahamians, our country's post office savings banks are a lifeline, providing safe and secure banking. But Michael Pindart says,
we will abolish the bank through the post office system.
That's a risk Bahamians can't afford. That's why the Prime Minister is making post office savings banks stronger to protect Bahamian families and small businesses who rely on them.
Play for fun, not for funds. In the Bahamas, we play hard,
but we live smart.
We love a little competition.
A little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Island Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds.
When you set a budget before you start,
and know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
Fun.
So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly. We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
This is the National Youth Guard program designed to train young people to help the Bahamas Islands in times of disaster.
I decided to join to better serve my country as well as to better myself.
We train the help in search and rescue,
electrical, plumbing, and carpentry,
and things that they can actually expand on in their careers.
Young people who join the Youth Guard program discover a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, and a sense of patriotism.
This program isn't about only the individuals, it is about the country.
Once something becomes the common behavior, it is the common behavior. When you operate at that level, personal emotions simply cannot float to the top.
For the average normal person that goes to the store, things like that affect us.
They must be judicious in the execution of their duty.
Well, I think whatever the nurses want, give it to them. Pages, you know, you do everything on your phone now. You see how old he was?
What are we walking back? That Bimini is no longer an island?
That's not what he was trying to say. Well, I don't even know what bread basket is anymore either. What do y'all people say?
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
This is the National Youth Guard program designed to train young people to help the Bahamas Islands in times of disaster.
I decided to join to better serve my country as well as to better myself.
We train the help in search and rescue,
electrical, plumbing, and carpentry,
and things that they can actually expand on in their careers.
Young people who join the Youth Guard program discover a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, and a sense of patriotism.
This program isn't about only the individuals, it is about the country.
Once something becomes the common behavior, it is the common behavior. When you operate at that level, personal emotions simply cannot float to the top.
For the average normal person that goes to the store, things like that affect us.
They must be judicious in the execution of their duty.
Well, I think whatever the nurses want, give it to them. Pages, you know, you do everything on your phone now. You see how old he is?
Would it be walking back that Bimini is no longer an island?
That's
okay,
not
because
what he was trying
because
to
he also
say. Carla, I don't even know what breadbasket anymore either. What do y'all people say?
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
This is the National Youth Guard program designed to train young people to help the Bahamas Islands in times of disaster.
I decided to join to better serve my country as well as to better myself.
We train the help in search and rescue,
electrical, plumbing, and carpentry,
and things that they can actually expand on in their careers.
Young people who join the Youth Guard program discover a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, and a sense of patriotism.
This program isn't about only the individuals, it is about the country.
Once something becomes the common behavior, it is the common behavior. When you operate at that level, personal emotions simply cannot float to the top.
For the average normal person that goes to the store, things like that affect us.
They must be judicious in the execution of their duty.
Well, I think whatever the nurses want, give it to them. Pages, you know, do everything on your phone now. You see how old he is?
Would it be walking back that Bimini is no longer an island?
That's okay, not
because
what he was trying to
he also
say. Carla, I don't even know what breadbasket anymore either. What do y'all people say?
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
The attention on the Family Islands tonight with the PLP rallying supporters in Exuma and the FNM in Abaco. We're live tonight. Also tonight, it's Week in Review Fridays. My panel revisits some of the biggest news stories this week, including Nomination Day. There are 25 days until the general election, so let's get started. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. Good evening, I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. The political machinery continues in Abaco tonight. Of course, we know what's happening in Exuma, and we will go there shortly. But the Free National Movement is on the island of Abaco. Linton Ritchie Jr. is at the rally that got started just a short while ago. Linton, good evening to you, and do give us an idea of how things are going. Meanwhile, of course, it is 25 days until the people, Bahamians across the country, go to the polls. The Progressive Liberal Party is ramping up its campaign. The PLP is in Exuma tonight. Rebecca Bain is on the island of Exuma. I think we are going to go to her. Let me know, guys, if she's there. If not, we can get started, and let me know when both of them are ready so we can go to them. And so I'm going to bring in right now the Hot Topics panel discussion. It's good to have you gentlemen here. Good evening to each of you, Ellington Ferguson, Leslie Miller, and Michael Turnquest.
Evening, it's good to be here, Colin.
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you for having me once again.
Let's talk about the momentum of both political organizations right now. The PLP on the island of Abaco, we will go there momentarily. The Free National Movement, the PLP in Exuma, the Free National Movement on the island of Abaco. What would you say about the momentum at this point, 25 days out? Which party has it? Which party is still fumbling, trying to get it? Their messaging and all the rest of it. Your thoughts on where election 2026 stands right now?
Well, Shanique, once again, both parties are building momentum. Even though we know earlier the Free National Movement had a bunch of little struggles on wrangling, it seems that they're able to pull themselves together, at least for this moment, and they're really on track. They're building momentum, maybe not as fast as we see it happening in the Progressive Liberal Party. I think we see some larger numbers with the Progressive Liberal parties, but both parties are building momentum, and the heat of this campaign trail is just getting fired up, and we're just seeing the beginning. I believe, Shanique, in the coming days, we're going to really get a feel for where the real strength, where the real stronger momentum is at. But both parties, I see that is building tremendous momentum on the campaign trail right now.
Mm-hmm. Michael, good evening to you.
Viewers, Shanique, when you look at Nomination Day and you look at the momentum, I think both parties are gearing up. You see the PLP and some of their strongholds, of course, you expect them to be stronger, which what I've seen doing nomination. I think, the party messaging, both are getting out. I think the PLP is speaking to its record in terms of what it would have done in the past 5 years, and the FNM, of course, in terms of what their plans are. You see a lot of that coming to fruition. You see the thing going on with Michael Barnaby and the beach and parks, 141 million that's being, asked, and just a lot of stuff that you see that just, it's kind of, the machinery is starting to go up on, gear up on both sides. So it's interesting, right now, from when you look at the numbers, I still think it's very close. I think you see a lot of the independents, even some of the COI. You see some of their numbers. It's not what some would look at a tier 1 political party, but there are numbers that are there speaking in terms of even the independents. You see they have their support, so that will be a key thing to look at in a lot of these key areas where we're expecting the third party and independents to kind of maybe skew the votes, in could go either which way.
It is interesting how this election is going. Dave and I have been out now from last week, Saturday. We went out Sunday, went out the whole week this week. We have not seen much of an impact from the FNM as we go in these different areas. We're in about 4 different areas. And it's interesting too that most people are not talking anymore about the CIO. They sort of fizzle out now as election becomes closer. The average Bahamian, when we go into areas that are poor, middle class, average Bahamian, and then the upper middle class, and things are spreading out now. people have concerns. The major concern that most constituents have is the fact that they don't think they have seen their MP sufficiently over the last 5 years. Most of them have not seen them, and they're very concerned about that. A lot of them send their troops to go into the areas. Like we met 3 ladies last night, and they said this one haven't been in here for a long time. But the persons who go to these people to ask for their support say, well, if you see the candidate, if you see me, you see the candidate. Woman said, listen, you're not on the damn ballot, eh? So don't, I want to warn all of them, PLP, FNM, etc. The candidate must go there themselves and work, as I told Sabas from the beginning. And he understood that. You got to be the one to win the election. Your team got to help you. But you got to know that you have done the leg work to deserve the support of the Birmingham people in those respective constituencies. You all got work to do, go and do your work. And it appears to me that many members of the Free National Movement are of the opinion that every 5 years the government's going to change anyhow. So there's no need for them to go there and hustle and work hard, because it's going to happen. I don't see that being the case in this election. People are hiding, their interests are hiding, and they ask a lot of questions, and they so far have been disappointed in the level of persons visiting them on a regular basis now. So you got 21 days left, go do your job.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, Michael?
I think, further to what Mr. Miller would have said, I think, this election, there's, you have, every party has their base in terms of their supporters that come out and they rally behind their candidates. But I think this election is going to be there's still a lot of, a large percentage of those that are quiet. And I think those are the ones, those are the ones that we're going to have to be very, I wouldn't say some parties going to have to be, we'll be scared of these particular individuals, but those persons are a large percentage of the voters that will show up and determine who will be the winner of this particular election.
The candidate is going to have to go and visit them people.
Yeah, and and it's so funny, unless I watch a lot of videos, and every video I see coming out on social media, I see you more than some of these candidates in a lot of these areas.
That's part of the problem. That's part of the bracket to go there. So Mr. Miller,
the fella asked you the other day if you running in the area when he was passing you while she was walking out of the yard.
Yeah, they need to step up and go do your job, man. You cannot have people going working for you while you sit down. I mean, most of them are being paid now too, but you have a job to do. People want to see the candidate. They want to ask you specific questions about what your plans are for the constituency. And if they can depend on you, because most of you change the damn number as soon as you win, and there are the questions that need to be answered. I advise all of you, FNM and PLP, go visit the people.
How about Exuma and Abaco tonight? How are those islands shaping up in your opinions?
I think I think both parties, if you look at even both parties have gone to places where I think they started, look as though they're starting off their campaigns where they think their stronghold are.
Exactly.
Is in terms of where in the particular islands. That's what it seems like to me. Of course, it seems as though, Chester Cooper, they say he's very strong. And
very strong, very strong.
And I think Abaco, I think the FNM feel as though they have a strong presence there, which is why they've started the family islands in the areas that they have. So that I find that very, I think it's interesting that both parties, the major parties, have gone in that direction and starting, I think everybody's wanting to play the numbers game in terms of show that they have a big presence inside the family islands, and it'll be interesting to see how they go throughout the other islands, what the turnout is going to be as they move throughout, going further south, or even, some of the northern islands.
I think, Shanique, what you're going to see, the Free National Movement is going to make an attempt to capitalize on wherever they feel the Progressive Liberal Party has fallen down during this term. And one of those places is Abaco. Abaco has had its share of issues with both one of their candidates and also one of their incumbent is not running. So, and word on the ground is that Abaco is kind of up in the air right now. And so the Free National Movement is going to try to make that a priority. And wherever they could gain any ground, that's what they're doing there, up there in Abaco. The Progressive Liberal Party down in Exuma, that is a stronghold. I think their strategy is they're going now early in the game, touch base with their people that they know they got covered, just to make sure that they don't feel left out, and they're going to hit the ground on a widespread on these family islands. I think you're going to see for the next 25 days, almost every day except Sunday, there's going to be
we go 7 days a week, man.
There's going to be a rally somewhere.
Sunday.
There's going to be, no, I'm not talking about campaigning, but there's going to be a rally somewhere in some family island or somewhere on New Providence.
Well, I'll tell you who did not nominate
25 days.
yesterday, and we will get to nominate a nomination story and really sort of look at what took place yesterday. But the Bahamas Constitution Party, Ali McIntosh, did not nominate. I'm not sure if Leroy Major nominated. I'm not sure if Leroy Major nominated as well.
I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, so if that is what that is. Listen, we are just getting started. It is Week in Review Fridays. I know I told you all that we will go live to those rallies in Exuma and Abaco. We hope to do so right after the break. Stay close. Beyond the Headlines is back after this.
Man, you gotta call somebody to find out.
New roads and airports are connecting our islands. Energy reform is bringing electricity prices down, while young Bahamians are stepping up, gaining new skills for new opportunities. Respect for workers, support for entrepreneurs. We're modernizing energy and infrastructure across our islands and preparing Bahamians to succeed in a new economy. Transformations this big take time. Let's choose progress.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
New roads and airports are connecting our islands. Energy reform is bringing electricity prices down, while young Bahamians are stepping up, gaining new skills for new opportunities. Respect for workers, support for entrepreneurs. We're modernizing energy and infrastructure across our islands and preparing Bahamians to succeed in a new economy. Transformations this big take time. Let's choose progress.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. We started tonight's show telling you of both rallies, both political organizations. The PLP and the FNM are on the Family Islands tonight. The Progressive Liberal Party on the island of Exuma, Rebecca Bain, is there live this evening, and she gives us an idea of exactly how that rally is playing out. Good evening, Rebecca.
Good evening, Shanique, all the way from Georgetown, Exuma. I'm in front of the Progressive Liberal Party's headquarters where they are kicking off their rally for progress this evening. Now, I do want you to take a look behind me. We can see a large crowd of supporters have came out here this evening. They're dressed in their party's paraphernalia. They have flags. They have banners. Earlier, they came in with a motorcade shouting Chester Cooper. So you can see where they are leaning here in Exuma this evening. But I do want to speak about some of the individuals that will be speaking. Of course, we are expecting the incumbent Chester Cooper. We are also expecting the party's leader, Philip Brave Davis, who's also vying for the Cat Island constituency once again. We're expecting Renika Knowles for the Long Island constituency, place waiting for Central and South Girls, Robin Lang for Killarney, Zane Lightner for Yamakro, Fred Mitchell for Parkville, and the Lord of candidates are waiting
Hang on,
Trying for a second phone in this election started operating the that campaign is protecting immigration programs and enhancing education and healthcare amongst the country. So I'm going to bring further updates by digital platform this evening about how this rally is going. And as I said, it's a vibrant atmosphere out there this evening. The crowd is excited to be here. But for right now, I'm Rebecca Bain. Send it back to you at the station.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. Thanks so much, Rebecca Bain, live in Exuma at the Progressive Liberal Party's rally. You heard a number of speakers are slated to address the crowd there this evening. We're going to go now to Abaco, where Linton Ritchie Jr. is live from the Free National Movement's rally that's happening there this evening. Let me know when that's ready. Let me know when it's ready, you all. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. But Ellington and Leslie, Michael, if you are there and he can come back in, great. But Ellington and Leslie, you heard Rebecca a moment ago about the rally in Exuma there, the PLP in Exuma, a list of speakers. And the FNM is doing something just as mirroring really exactly that, meaning that they have a lot of speakers and candidates from other areas also gathered in Abaco. The PLP tonight has a number of its heavy hitters on the island of Exuma to help get the party's message and move it forward.
Absolutely, Shanique, and that's what it's all about. It's all about shoring up your base and getting your base rallied around your cause. And that is what both of these parties hit the ground doing. The Free National Movement in their initial rally, now pushing one push northward, one push slightly southward, and you're going to see this spread. And so that's what you see happening in Exuma. She talked about the crowd now building down there in Exuma. We haven't been able to see the F&M in Abaco yet, but I'm sure that the same thing is happening up there, and the Free National Movement is demonstrating as we get into the actual engine of these campaign. They're demonstrating how hungry they are to win this general election.
Mike?
You know, Shanique, I guess like from starting from this week on, Exuma just is going to be one big party. You know, you have the Exuma, the Georgetown Regatta is coming up next week. But you know, based on you know, the speakers and the amount of persons, you can see, as Eldon said, you know, the South and the North, you know, it's, you would think that whoever is advising on these campaigns, because they seem to be very replicas of each other in terms of, you know, how they're approaching to both campaigns. I don't know if they're following each other or someone's advising them, you know, but
everything I do, the monkey do.
Yeah, but I think Exuma, I think you can expect a large crowd. There's a big support base there, but also I think persons are starting to gravitate towards Georgetown, Exuma, especially because you can expect the regatta is coming up next week, and sailors everyone is getting settled in to get ready to gear up for next week, Wednesday.
You know, Mr. Cooper has done a wonderful job for the people of Exuma as well as Ragged Island. A lot of infrastructure work has been going on, road works like you never seen before. You know, he's done a great job, and he's very popular. He's probably going to win by a tremendous margin. I would say no less than 65–70% of the votes. He's very popular down there. He's done a good job since he's been elected. This will be his third time around, so.
Oh, his third time already?
Yes.
Yeah, third time, yeah.
One thing I noticed with him, if you, I'll tell you what I love that all the candidates are doing this election season is embracing social media. They're telling their story through social media. Well, he is trekking all throughout the Bahamas with his candidates. Of course, you know, he is deputy leader with the candidates and helping them push their message forward, campaign door to door. A lot of it obviously being documented on social media for anyone to see.
And Shanique, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because in the past weeks prior to now, we've been talking about all of the various candidates and members of parliament and their new approach, their new love with social media. What we've seen with Chester Cooper, we've seen him take a different approach to social media. He more took the business approach, the approach of governance or campaigning. He took it on a different level than most of them took it. And so, yes.
Absolutely.
He did a good
Telling,
job
of course, of obviously, like Leslie talked about, things that have been accomplished and done, and then helping those candidates to get their message out. Let me know when Linton Ritchie is ready, please. That when he's ready, of course, Linton Ritchie is covering the Free National Movement's rally on the island of Abaco this evening. I think we now have him. Linton, good evening to you. What's happening at the Free National Movement's rally there in Abaco? Meanwhile, there is movement on the ground for the country's new multi-million-dollar hospital, with work officially getting underway on the long-awaited project. Ground was broken today. Now, the government say that the development begins a major chapter for the country's healthcare system, which has faced years of strain because of growing demand on the system that's been limping along for decades now. Gentlemen, your thoughts on this new hospital? I mean, we know that it's been in the news for quite some time now, with people for it or against it, and any number of various opinions being expressed about the new hospital. However, today, ground was broken and work will get started.
Well, finally, Shanique, it's been a long time, and people were wondering if this were going to get started. Obviously, the government was continuing their work towards this day, and things don't just happen in one day. They were working towards this day, and now we see that they have broken ground and they're serious about it. The funding have already been provided for it. A lot of people have mixed emotions about whether or not we need to build this hospital, whether or not we should have this type of hospital that we're having, but the government is going for it. I heard somebody said today that maybe they should have remodeled or revitalized. I think
Princess Margaret.
We've been doing a lot with Princess Margaret.
Princess Margaret has now become patchwork.
And you keep on adding on to old
years,
structure.
How many? Over 100?
Over 100 years.
100 years old.
No, it's very
it
old.
needs help. It really, listen, I'm of the view that hospital, that we need something. Now, it should not be a specialty hospital.
That's
it should
my
be,
only
It should
thing.
be a hospital. But Princess Margaret cannot continue to carry the load it's been carrying.
What I think we can do, the property is a very vast property, and there's so much you can do. You can build a multi-story hospital, and one floor can have a specialty for that area, another floor have a specialty for that area. So you can have these specialty on different floors. But we cannot continue to add on piece to Princess Margaret Hospital, and the driving and the parking is inadequate.
There's no property
the
left.
ambulance pulling up spot is jam up and inadequate.
No property
How
left.
much as we grow as a country, how much can we continue to have Princess Margaret Hospital as our main and number one hospital? So there's a lot of discussion in there, and work is now going on. The hospital is now beginning. If the Free National Movement has said that if they win, they will cancel it. Let's see what happens.
Michael, before you jump in, you and Leslie, I want to quickly go. Linton Ritchie Jr., we do have him now up. He is live from the Free National Movement's rally on the island of Abaco. Linton, good evening to you. Certainly, of course, we are excited to hear what's happening in Abaco this evening.
Your issue is your neighbor's issue. You'll be surprised that those issues are national issues. And when we talk about national
Good evening, Shanique. Thank you very much. Well, we are live here in North Abaco at the Free National Movement rally in the backyard. Now, of course, currently taking the stage directly behind me with my cameraman Pants is the candidate for Garden Hills, Mr. Rick Fox. Now, before him was the candidate for Central and South Abaco, Jeremy Sweeting. Now, when Sweeting took the stage, he made the election pledge to the electorate of Central and South Abaco that under an F&M administration, he will ensure that he brings back alive the boating marinas here in Abaco. He noted that under the PLP, from his view, he alleges that the increase in boating fees has completely left marinas across Abaco desolate. Of course, he says that that is taking a strain on Abaconians' homes. He noted that many Abaconians depend on the boating industry for a livelihood. He also talked about power. He also talked about infrastructure. He also made it very clear that these will be some center focuses on his campaign, and if elected, that he will work hard to improve on. Now, directly behind me, once again, I said that Mr. Rick Fox, he is taking the stage. He's speaking about his pledges. If elected, he's also talking about how much potential that he believes the country has. He noted that more investments need to be made. He also spoke about infrastructure. He also threw some political jobs at his Garden Hills opponent as well, and also the Progressive Liberal Party. We know that earlier this week when Mr. Fox gave a speech at the Southern rally, he made some comments noting that he is here to deal with bullies, and persons alleged that after that speech, they claims that he was inciting violence. Well, tonight, he cleared that up. He noted that he was, from his view, he did not mean to incite violence in the community. He was simply, is what he says, was addressing bullies. Now, of course, tonight we expect to hear from a lot more Free National Movement candidates. We know that Denley Penn-Mackey, who is running in the Southern Shores constituency, she's here in North Abaco. She's on the lineup. There's Brian Brown for Golden Isles. There is also Therese Boodle, who is the candidate for North Abaco, where this rally is being held tonight. And following that, there will be a keynote address from the party leader, Michael Pintard. Now, we also know that former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham, he is in Abaco. He's expected to arrive here at this rally rally any moment. Of course, we will be standing by. We're hoping to be able to conduct an interview with him, get an update about how he feels about the political temperature on just weeks away from the poll. But this rally comes on the heels of a nomination day that was held yesterday, where all the candidates for Abaco successfully nominated under the Free National Movement. Of course, we know that just a week ago there was a rally in Nassau, and of course the Free National Movement says they intend to continue on throughout the islands. But we're live here. We're standing by in North Abaco. I'm Linton Ritchie Jr. sending it back to you at the desk, Shanique.
Thank you very much, Linton Ritchie Jr. on the island of Abaco in North Abaco. In fact, this evening you heard him talk about Leslie, Ellington, and Michael. I want to talk about something he mentioned. Of course, he talked about Jeremy Sweeting already addressing the audience there this evening. There in North Abaco at the F&M rally. Rick Fox is on the podium right now speaking. Said Rick Fox clarified his statement when he said, listen, if you're a bully, punch a bully in the mouth. And other things that he said this week that really raised eyebrows. Said that Fox said he wasn't trying to incite violence, just address bullies. Gentlemen, your thoughts on how Rick is playing his cards this election season?
Shanique, I think Rick Fox is new to the game. He's fresh in Bahamian politics. And I knew immediately when I heard the statement, I don't think that he was kind of purporting any violence or any sort, but you just still, both sides, Progressive Liberal Party and Free National Movement members, when you're on the podium, you have to be careful because some people take in your language literally. I've seen some of the rhetorics among the campaigners and your members that are on these social networks. Some of them are really threatening each other for real. I mean, that whenever I see you, what I'm going to do and stuff like that. So I would ask both parties to kind of, let's try to tone it down from among our people. Not that I had for one moment believed that Rick Fox meant anything as it relates to literally punching someone in the mouth. I think it's just campaign rhetoric.
You know, Shanique, I think when it comes to politics, I think, a lot of people are disconnected when it comes to what really is happening in our economy as it relates to, certain areas. And I think sometimes, we have people that live in their bubble, and when they actually get into politics, it opens their eyes. When they start to go house to house, what's going on in these communities, what's and something that they would have never fathomed, because they have lived a life of privilege. And that's, straight across the political divide, being FNM, PLP, COI. And sometimes, when you get and you go to these doors and you knock on these doors and go into these homes, it humbles a person. It really, things that they never think that is happening. We consider ourselves a rich country. But when you start going into some of these homes and these neighborhoods and you see how people live in the Bahamas, where they don't have running water, still outside toilets and various things, it sometimes I would say it's a burden, it's a blow to the face. And sometimes some people, it takes a while to really come to reality that I can't believe that people are living this way. And I think Rick Fox is one of those who, you might have been here some time ago, but when you start going into some of these communities and you see what the average Bahamian goes through on a day-to-day basis, I think sometimes it's hard to connect and really, know that, okay, this is how young men live in terms of, when we talk about inciting violence, you have to be very careful, because at the end of the day, people don't really know what survival of the fittest is, not until you actually see how people, below you, or, what they say, the underprivileged in terms of how they live. I tell people that when I ran in 2007, being down in Nassau Village in certain areas, it was definitely an eye-opener for me. And sometimes you always think that, you have it bad, but you have to really look at the communities around you and say, hey, this is what it really is. And you don't know that not until you start walking into these people's homes and you start sitting down with them and listening to their stories and what they're going through. And, you look at it, you say, boy, I got life is really good for me.
I think Rick Fox's initiation and being in politics is like baptism with fire. We met him last week, Saturday, in Garden Hills. Dave and I, Garden Hills too. The area I had the privilege of representing 1 and 3. And he was visibly upset that we were in there campaigning. I said, my brother, just
hold on, wait. What do you mean? He was upset that you were campaigning?
Yeah, he came out of his golf cart and he approached me face on. 2 inches from my face. Say, what are you doing here? Something just here happened with the brothers, but I trust that.
But Leslie, that's nothing to laugh at, because what Rick must understand is that in the Bahamas, you, Michael, Ellington, Perry Christie, Hubert Ingram, whomever can go with whomever.
Yeah.
And as I said when we were talking about the PLP, I said Chester Cooper has been going, Brad Davis too, but Chester Cooper really has been, and I'm sure they have defined their roles in this campaign. So he has been going with each candidate everywhere around the nation. Rick, you just reach. That's another thing. You have gone on social media before you even were connected to a political organization. You have gone on social media and ranted and raved like a lunatic. Now you are running on because you see this man here in Garden Hills campaigning. That is how it is, Rick Fox. That's how it is. Hopefully somebody can go with you and hold your hand and help you campaign in Garden Hills.
I mean, I was a little taken aback by him.
He had to be joking, man.
No, he had to be joking. He couldn't be serious. Like, and that is when you have not become acclimatized to an area, but you want to go jump up. You just come from wherever it is, jump up and figure you running there.
No, I mean, his father. I don't know. I was very concerned about him because his father was a good friend of mine, Aldrich Fox. God bless him. When we formed the Light Industries Development Council back in '83, he was our vice president and myself was president. And we worked tremendously together, and he said to me, you can talk and say what you want to say about me, but please don't talk about my daddy. I say, Rick, why would I say something about your daddy? Someone who I love, and who's my friend. I said, don't get upset like this, man. I say, politics in this country is a rough game. You got to get used to it. You got to take the blows. And he was really upset. Then he came back to me, said, but I thought you retired. I say, I'm not running. But I'm helping out some colleagues.
And you know what? Again, that word acclimatized. That is when you are made to understand the nature of where you are. Yeah, and I don't know that he understands Bahamian politics, Caribbean politics, and how it all plays out. And how it all plays. Yeah, it's a little rough. Man, in the U.S. is rough. Yeah, imagine here on these islands, it's a little rough. People can go and they can nudge you a bit. Yeah. But it's all a part of the game, and it's not meant to be personal or cheap shots or defame your character. None of that. But when it comes to the little hustle and sort of the jostling of politics, that's what it is, Rick Fox. That's what it is. And anybody can accompany you and campaign alongside you, or anybody can accompany Mario Boleg and campaign alongside Mario Boleg. That's just how it is, Rick Fox.
They can throw jazz like I told him. They will throw jazz.
Go ahead, Michael.
No, so all we need now is Leslie to go start going door to door with the COI candidate.
That's all that's needed. I think Leslie just needs to do that. I agree, Michael. Leslie needs to do that.
I call on Brenton Roll to hold Rick hand.
Brenton, you know something, Brenton Roll? Go hold Rickan. Yes. Go and talk. Go hold, because you're all wrong.
Nobody knows Garden Hills like Brenton Roll.
You're let Rick find out Garden Hills for himself, it seems. And Rick didn't understand that he could ask you to help him.
From 1982.
Listen, Beyond the Headlines is back after this.
Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at those. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, processes you, and entertains you 24/7.
You better get out to vote. It's the big concert. Saturday, April 18th at the National Stadium. Just added Bunchy Garland, Ding Dong, Faye Lyons, Skinny Fabulous, also Sweet Emily, Heyman Trey, Johnny Cake, Bloody, Sherwin Gardner, Wendy 242, El Polly, and the Pawn Band. Gates open at 6 p.m. And remember, it's free admission with your voter's card. Now listen, no voter's card, no entry. Make sure log on to getouttovote.mysuncash.com to validate your voter's card in order to secure your tickets and get out to vote.
2021. Borders overrun. Gang wars raging. Crime out of control. 4 years later, we're stronger. More than 1,000 new police and defense force officers, new interceptors protecting our waters, record numbers repatriated, and with stronger security partnerships, tougher anti-gang laws, and shantytown crackdowns, we're tightening our grip. Stronger borders, safer streets. This fight is never finished.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
Don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
Your say, your vote, your choice.
Play for fun, not for funds.
In the Bahamas, we play hard, but we live smart.
We love a little competition.
A little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Idle Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds. When you set a budget before you start,
And know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
fun. So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. It's Week in Review Fridays. Of course, our show was a little kind of mixed up tonight, so we didn't get to a lot of what was planned. But let's talk about this. Yesterday marked a pivotal point in the run-up to the 2026 general election as candidates across the country made their candidacy official. Nomination Day is when candidates file their nomination papers, which officially enters them into the race for office. The day unfolded with high energy, strong showings of support, and in some cases, heightened tensions that signal just how competitive this election season is shaping up to be. Janelle Longley has a recap.
Janaea, an eventful day to say the least at the T.G. Glover Primary School with the Coalition of Independence candidate Daphne Johnson, who was the first to arrive and complete her process, but refused to leave the room, claiming that she was seeking to challenge the nomination of Progressive Liberal Party candidate Bastian for, quote, not following the law. But when her efforts did not stop the successful completion of Bastian's nomination, her leader came to amplify the accusations and further delay the process for candidates that were expected to follow.
I am here to reject your nomination.
Reject the nomination because it is known, and he admitted on the radio yesterday, it is his admission, that he has government contract, that he gets $50 million from the government. And the law says that he is supposed to declare that a month before.
Did we hear it here from the radio? Sure.
You heard the objection of the candidate that
We
the
heard
law
it from the
says.
candidate. We heard it from the candidate.
Yes.
Is that factual?
Yes, it is.
With Lincoln Bain, if I have a $50 million contract with the government, if you could find that, I'll give you $5 million of it. Stop talking foolishness.
When Johnson gathered with her team to pray outside of the center before entering at 9 a.m., no one imagined that over 2 hours later, they'd still be locked in the room, levying allegations against Progressive Liberal Party candidate Bastian, who doubled down on the fact that he did everything above board and suggested that the level of scrutiny was expected.
You don't grandstand and try to look for 5 minutes of fame based on absolutely nothing. Listen, my entire professional career, I've had this type of resistance, and you know, this goes out to all aspiring young entrepreneurs. You know, when you start to make moves and start to make progress, you know, there are certain people that are uncomfortable with you progressing. That you find that on your job, you find that in business, you find that even in families.
But Bain in his protest also delayed the nomination of Free National Movement candidate Travis Robinson, requesting him to stand with him in his challenge. but Robinson denied to participate.
If my team can just be in the room as we gave y'all opportunity to be in the room. I have no comments on that at this point. They will address the matters that they have discussed, but at this time I'm just excited to be nominated for the people of Fort Charlotte to become their next member of parliament.
Shortly after the 11 o'clock hour, the coalition finally left the room. Johnson said she had no regrets in their attempts to maintain democracy, insisting that now her focus is on preparing for victory at the polls.
The red carpet is rolled out for the wealthy, and then you and I, we get the red tape. Well, that is what I fought for and there for you today.
Now, Janaea, as far as Bain is concerned, he's fighting this all the way to election court. But there is a possibility that he may not be successful in that fight. Now, why is that? Well, the portion of the constitutional law that he claims Bastian broke actually states that those interested in office must disclose their governmental contracts or interest in such in a gazette within 1 month before the day of election, which in this case is May 12th. Obviously, we're no legal experts here, but it suggests that Bastian, if he hasn't already declared such, as Bain claims, has until at least May 11th, 2026 to do so. Now, obviously, this is a story that we will be continuing to follow and get some legal experts to confirm. But for now, Janelle Longley, throwing it back to you in studio. Janaea?
Well, of course, that was yesterday. This is Week in Review Friday, so if that was certainly one of the big stories that has people talking. But Leslie, I want to ask you, as the veteran politician in the room, can a candidate, like on nomination day, for example, protest and reject another person's candidacy?
It cannot because it's none of their business. That is up to the presiding officer who's there. They run the election. A candidate can't run an election. I mean, this guy does it every single time. He hasn't been in the press for a little while because nobody want to listen to him anymore. So what he does, he goes and disturb the peace and try to berate a fellow who would like to go to parliament. This guy just a total jackass. And you can't stop him. He's an utter jackass, him and his whole crew. And the lady who raised an elf, she didn't get her money back. She wouldn't get 200 votes. I mean, miss, please, get a life. Come on, man. That nigga can beat you up, wig off your head. Go sit down, man.
Michael?
Get lost. You know, Shanique. Serious. I would advise anyone, to really watch Ben casting their vote May 12th, what they're putting their X behind. Because at the end of the day, every time you present yourself, it can't be just chaos. Yeah, I mean, every time. You can't create chaos every time you come. I mean, the nonsense, I mean, we've seen many multimillionaires who have put themselves forward as candidates, who would have government contracts, whether it be Reynolds or things of that sort, which at the end of the day, we would hope that anyone who has government contracts, I'm pretty sure they would advise when they do their declaration. Exactly. Like Brent Simpson it can't was. be chaos every time. Don't stop, man.
Shanique, let me put it like this. I'm going to try to bring some balance to this. Not going to jump in the bandwagon.
There's no balance.
Not going to jump in the bandwagon to beat up the COI. Let me put a positive spin on it. Lincoln had a very nice suit. I think it was nice and tie matched.
Sweetwater suit. Get rid of it.
I love their colors.
$185.
They look good.
$185.
What's $185? What are you talking about, Leslie?
Suit. $185 suit. He had
on a very nice suit.
He never been in a good suit and he liked
the tie matched.
Please.
Let's give them something
Please.
Of course, we, as we said, this election season, there are about 123 candidates, certainly 41 constituencies. Yes. Yes.
I think the parliamentary registrar said that there was short over 100 persons that registered.
Yeah, I tell you, it should have been 123.
The Treasury should be smiling. The Treasury should be smiling. There's plenty money we can get.
Yes.
They get like 40 times, like 45 times 400.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's why. Those that do get more than the number of votes needed, just leave the money there. Exactly. Make that a donation to the Treasury. That's the reason why Madam Graveyard went back to her castle. Very smart lady. Thank you, Madam.
She did not nominate Leslie Miller.
Yeah, I know she didn't.
Yes,
That's why she didn't.
No, but here's why.
She kept her money.
Because she was
smart woman.
She didn't do it in protest.
No.
She said she's protesting against these
decided
elections.
Yes.
She's not going to let the Bahamas Treasury goosey her this time.
No, not this time. She could use somebody to buy lunch.
Gentlemen, I thank each of you very much.
Gas going up too.
Ellington Ferguson, Leslie Miller, Michael Turncliffe, thank you each very, very much. It's good to have you all here. As usual, making a Friday exactly what it is, the day before the weekend.
Yeah, but tell Doc, cut it all the little kissy.
No, Dr. Minnis is doing well. Dr. Minnis nominated as well yesterday.
Yes.
Leslie, you seem to be
Watch
really.
MacGyver.
You are smitten.
Watch MacGyver.
Oh, you are
Watch
smitten
MacGyver.
with Dr.
I
Minnis.
said watch MacGyver. Watch MacGyver.
I am watching Leslie more than I'm watching Dr. MacGyver.
I want to see you in Kalani on the weekend with Mr.
Yes,
MacGyver now.
I am watching Leslie.
Leslie, and furthermore, you have been defamatory to Lincoln Bain when you called him a JA. That's
but he is a jackass.
Leslie.
An absolute.
Leslie.
He called me things too.
But I didn't hear him call it to you.
You hear me? Okay.
I didn't hear him. You were that's defamatory.
That's not defamatory.
It is defamatory.
I didn't make him that.
If becomes Prime Minister
Leslie,
today, what are you going to do?
let me move right on. Leslie, even if he called you something, I never heard it. He never said it on air. Okay. I thank you, gentlemen, very, very much. It's good to have you all here. I thank you all very much for hanging out all week here on Beyond the Headlines. Looking forward to seeing you right back here on Monday evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Everyone, make it a blessed weekend. See you on Monday.
Right, carefully, please.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and